I'm recording it on my phone.
I just
Okay,
started, I
thank
just
you.
turned the recording on
It is being recorded.
just
Thanks.
now. I missed all of Kitty's stuff, but it's on now.
Yeah, I have it on my phone, but just double checking here. Okay,
Sure.
thanks.
What I was proposing, and I was thinking it'd be kind of a nice flip side of the coin to what Kitty is proposing, is to have a scholarship for students. We reward the teachers, we reward the judges, we will hopefully reward the mock trial team. But I thought it would be really nice and it would be very popular to have a nice, healthy scholarship for an outstanding law-related high school student, either upcoming freshman or senior or graduating senior. And I started looking around at various scholarship sites, because you can go in and you've got scholarship.com, scholarship.org, and all these people have these scholarships out there, and it links back to the organization giving. I know the Daughters of the American Revolution offer a scholarship, but none of these are very big. They're like $1,000 here or $1,500 here. So if we could offer one with a little teeth to it, you know, 5,000, 10, 7,500, I don't know. I think we might be able to get some really good, great students to apply, and the teachers would go up to bat for them, and that's getting their interest involved. And we would put ourselves out there as an organization that offers this sort of thing. And I think it's great exposure for us. I think it's offering a wonderful opportunity for an excellent student that may otherwise not be recognized in the grand scheme of scholarship worlds. The only thing is with a scholarship is that it would take a lot of work. It's a little more labor intensive, because I think we would have to come up with a committee and someone to chair it to see the process from beginning to end, from creating something online, which I can certainly help with, to getting the information out there, to getting the students to respond, how they respond, and then to judge the applications. And Lucy gave me a great rubric that they use
Yes.
in their committees, because you all give out a scholarship as well. It has kind of a grading system for each element of these things. I was talking to Dominique Varner of Houston, and they give out a law school scholarships, 3 a year. And Lisa, you were probably involved with this at that point in time. And I asked how they did it. And they basically said that they just have the committee review the applications and they make the determination. And she said 90% of it's based on the essay that they write. And I was thinking, well, that sounds great. But I said, wouldn't it be kind of fun to get our former Toy Award winners on board,
good idea.
being judges? Not that they have time, they probably don't, but it might be worth asking them. So yeah, I've kind of laid out the different elements of what I think something like this might take. And I think that would be a lovely second choice for Nancy to consider. And then the third choice I have is to do a combination of two, which I think would be a win-win-win all the way around. So what are y'all's thoughts on the scholarship? Too much work?
I think it's a lot of work. I think it's something that we could work toward doing it a year from now. I think getting it all in place and working right now would be difficult. Our local auxiliary did scholarships, and rather than giving a lump sum, we would give, for example, if we were going to dedicate $10,000, we would do $2,500 for the first year, and then they would have to maintain a certain grade point to get it renewed for the second year, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some parameters we could use. This kind of ties into, and I'm not throwing a wrench in it, but I want a discussion on this. You know, I'm concerned that we're not getting as many applicants for the Teacher of the Year award. And my thoughts were, we've got to get out there and get more visible. And I wonder if we offered, instead of Teacher of the Year award, if we offered scholarships from ALA and had more students earn those scholarships. And maybe we could have our former Teachers of the Year look at students that they have had and encourage them to apply. I'm just trying to think of ways that I don't want to end up with 5 applicants and we've got 4 scholarships. That doesn't feel right to me.
Well, I'm just thinking one scholarship. I'm not thinking of
No, I was talking about if we did it as
teachers.
ALA instead of Teacher of the Year, if we did Students of the Year or something like that.
Maybe, sorry, maybe we can think about doing something where if we award the student, we also award the teacher of that student?
It
Good,
seems to
yeah.
me years ago, when all this was, long time ago, that the teacher and the student were both invited to the award ceremony. I remember a grade school teacher and a student from the grade school came to our ceremony in Washington, D.C. one year and received, I guess the teacher must have received something because she came, and the student, but I don't remember the details anymore. But is that the kind of thing that you're thinking about, the student teacher award?
Yes,
or-
I think maybe we might get some more involvement if we have the teacher and student getting an award. The same, if the student applies and the teacher also gets an award.
Well,
Well,
what do we do?
I
What do we
have-
do? We have multiple students that are working with this teacher. I think I'm not sure if that could be very
Well,
clean process.
I think that the student had to write an essay or something, and that student was then chosen by the teacher, I guess. But that could be a little sticky, you never know how that works out with teacher-student.
I have two thoughts from experience with the Junior League Sustainer Scholarship. And what, Noel, correct me if I'm wrong, but reading your proposal, it's for high school seniors.
Yes.
Well, so they go to college thinking they're going to go into pre-law or something related to that to get to law school. But oftentimes those freshmen change their major. So we may be giving it to someone who sounds great on paper, but in the end is not going to go into law-related education. Also, most schools, or at least this is what we have found in Texas. I've talked to someone in Arkansas that does a scholarship similar to ours, and they have the same concern. When you, as a student, enroll in school, you have X number of days before that you can withdraw, and then you get your money back. If we give when the Junior League gives a scholarship, it goes directly to the school, not to the student. And so that money goes into an account for that student. Now, if Susie Q withdraws within that time period, she gets that money in a check. It is then, it goes into her account. It is now her money. And so there's nothing that the
That's a good point. That's a valid
can
point.
do about it. And that doesn't happen often, but there are a lot of, there are people out there that know how to work the system.
We worked with the
So
dean of the dean of the TU Law School when our auxiliary folded in Tulsa, and we had money left over that was in our bank, and we weren't going to spend it on ourselves. So we decided to work with her and find qualified. And we had a parameter on this. We looked for qualified female students who were having difficulty making their payments. And I don't remember how we went around doing that, but they're the ones that tended to drop out more than the male students in law school. And we ended up giving, I think, 3 different scholarships to young women to help them complete their law school education. So that's another option rather than just going off to college and changing your mind and wanting to become an English major or an economics major. Somebody really focused who is in law school already, perhaps. Just another thought to throw out.
My thought process is that I was focusing on the high school because we do give high school teacher of the year awards. So I was thinking that would be a nice compliment to that. And even if they don't major in pre-law or something that's law related, the fact that they have this body of work that focuses on what we've been working with, I think should be reward in and of itself. Because these kids have obviously worked very hard to do whatever it is that they're going to do. And we just I think we would have to respect what their choices are going to be in the future because they've made such good choices in the past.
Are we going to encourage these students to apply again next year and hopefully track them through 4 or 5 years of school?
Well, I think I don't think we ought to open it to college students necessarily. I think it should be a one shot for a senior. As you know, if they are on mock trial championship team, and they have done so many cool things. And then we've heard these teachers talk about it. I went through each of the teachers that we had, and they talked about their students and the amazing things that they've done. I was like, we could find a handful of these students out there that would be worthy of this. I don't know. It's an evolved process. I think we can fine tune it. But for our purposes, I think we need to present Nancy Haar with options. And I think Kitty's idea of funding the mock trial is excellent. And I like my idea of funding a scholarship, but I like the idea of doing both even better.
Right.
Y'all
Well,
have
you've got parameters set out here on your proposal that says you have to have a certain GPA, you have to have been involved in, you've got it all here. Must have write an essay as to why law-related education is important. Must be a high school senior going to attend an accredited four-year college. That's a point. I mean, you have things on here that I think if they could meet those criteria, and then you give them money, the scholarship based on present, what they've done as a senior. Right. And then whatever they do further on is what they do. Yeah. But you have given them an award for doing really well in high school, I suppose.
That's kind of what my thought process was. Sharon, did you want to add something?
I do. So how many times do we think we could do this? My question is doing a scholarship to a high school student, is this going to be a one-time thing? Are we going to do a whole lot of work and jumping through hoops and forming committees and doing all of that for one time?
Well, I think it depends on how long Nancy wants to fund this. And from the tones of her email, it sounds like it's an ongoing thing. Because I think she gets a lovely tax break from it, of the distribution of her mom's estate. So from what I've heard is that it's an ongoing process. So I think we kickstart it and get it all set up. And then if for some reason she doesn't want to fund it, we can decide whether we want to continue on our own or not.
Isn't Deborah Jarvis's a limited amount of time, Barbara?
Yes, I believe it's, I thought it was 3 years. It may be 5 years.
Okay, so we know that's a limited amount of time.
Right.
And I can certainly ask Nancy when I provide her with the proposals, if there's, if she's planning on doing this ad infinitum, or if there's a certain number of years she's intending to do this, or she may not know.
We had a vision meeting a few years ago, and I find that the mock trial certainly would increase our visibility. The scholarship would also increase our visibility. And I thought that was one of our goals, is to increase our visibility and more people know about us by offering the scholarship or the mock trial. I think I think that's a positive thing for our organization.
Sharon?
Since we're wanting her to do this more than 1 year, should we give her these 3 proposals and see if she has a preference?
Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to provide a shot and give her 3 options. This is basically to bless this package, so to speak. At some point, somebody was throwing out ideas to have her fund all the auxiliary awards, just basically change that name to the Jurgemeyer Auxiliary Awards, but nobody quite formalized that. And we've given people every opportunity to present formal proposals. And this is what we've gotten. So I'm not going to these kind of abstract ideas don't do us a whole lot of good. And I'm not going to put the brain power behind somebody else's thinking to formalize it. So what do you guys think?
I like the idea I like both of them. I don't know. I think the second one, the scholarship, is going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take people, who are willing to do that. And I would hope it'd be more than 1 year, as you said. You do all this for 1 year, that's a lot of work. So that may make a difference if she knows offhand how many years she's going to be able to do this for both, or if she can just do one for one. The number of years is going to make a difference. The mock trial is not so much work because we're not really judging, we're just awarding. And I think I said somewhere that it'd be wonderful if at the award ceremony, they have like 3 days of competition. And on the final day, they have what they call the prom. and all the kids get together. It's much like We the People has their final competition and award ceremony. That's when they're physically in one place. And if they're actually physically in one place this year at the award ceremony, it'd be wonderful if an ALA representative could be there and give them one of those giant checks that Linda Eagle used to make for me when we had them in person, and do a presentation and get the picture and get it on the website, or get it in the newspaper, or get it out there someplace, and get it on the mock trial website. I would love to be on our mock trial website. I don't quite know how to pull that off, but I'm working it. So that's all I can tell you right now. So
We could present her with the mock trial proposal, since we know what that would entail, and offer perhaps the next year that we have this in the workings of offering a scholarship as well. So we could give her that option to support the mock trial this year, and then next year we would have more information about a scholarship and then pursue that as well.
Maybe when we propose it to her, we can say, if you think this is going to be more than a one-year plan, then we would be willing to do the scholarship. But if your intentions are only for 1 year, then we would prefer not to do all that footwork for
Right.
1 year. And then, let her kind of know what we're thinking, that yes, it's going to be a lot of work. We're willing to do it for several years, or at least a couple of years. But if she's only planning to give 1 year, and then maybe we get a feel from her what she's interested in doing.
I agree. I think when I send this to her, I will add that in there. So based on presumption of an ongoing endowment, this is
Right.
what we would propose. So, I mean, I guess, Alice, I think the thing is we've promised her 3 options, at least. So this is why I want to present the first 2 plus the combination as the third. So she can say, yes, I want to do this. No, I don't like any of these. Come back to the drawing table and start all over. But I don't think she's going to do that. I think with what she's told us so far and what her mom is involved with, I think she'll love it all. So,
Noelle, where is she from, Nancy?
she's in Las Vegas.
She's from where?
She's in Las Vegas now.
Oh, that's
But her mom was from Indiana.
right.
So, well, Las Vegas is kind of far, but she might like to come to San Antonio and meet us
That's
in the spring.
That's
And
a lovely
that's
idea. I will mention that.
Then she could see, how really fun we are and how much she likes us. And perhaps it would be more ongoing.
Well, I have started
That's why
including.
her mother loved this organization.
Well, she did say that she remembers fondly going to the organization, going to the meetings as a little girl with her mom, and she said
Oh,
that was
that's interesting.
thought that was kind of cool. I have included her in the e-blasts that I've sent out, which I sent out that thing this morning. Hopefully everybody got through it all. I started at the beginning of the month, and I just keep adding things to it as I go along. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun, or that would be kind of fun. Okay,
Yeah, I think
so you guys, based on the scholarship being an extended yearly thing, endowment, shall we vote? All in favor?
And
Presenting
vote
this?
Is that proposal 3 we're talking?
All 3 of them.
All 3, yeah.
All in favor? Any opposed? So be it. Do we need, I don't know how to do this. Anne, help me out. Do we have to move this to be accepted, to be submitted?
Yes, I suppose, yeah. I think the motion is to propose all 3 proposals to Nancy for her consideration.
Yes.
Good.
Right.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. So moved. All right. I'm gonna get this stuff figured out one of these days. I am not a Robert's Rules of Order person. And
I'm sorry?
did you have something you wanted to add?
No.
I thought you were raising your hand. Okay.
I was kind of doing something. Sorry.
The second thing I wanted to talk about was I'd thrown this out earlier to a few of you all about getting a past toy winner liaison person to kind of reach out and touch base with our past toy winners to get updates. You know, where they are, what they're doing. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but it would be kind of fun to add them to the website and to the newsletter saying, you know, this person who won in 2015 is now a federal judge or whatever. Kitty suggested that we ask Peggy Lucier.
Peggy Lucier. She's a local National Capital Lawyers Auxiliary member, and she's the one who's planned a couple of the justices' spouses luncheons.
Okay.
So she's very good.
Anybody else have?
But I have not asked her. So just
Well, I'll reach out to whoever, but I was hoping people would volunteer, and that's not really happening. So I may have to put the hard squeeze on some folks to get them to participate. Somebody else had thrown out Nancy Butler, and I've forgotten who it was. Was that you, Barbara?
It may have been me, yeah, because Nancy, I don't think she's been able to travel to our meetings, and yet she was so involved when she was involved. I think that's something that she would, when I asked her to help me with the policies and procedures, she just leaped at the opportunity to do something.
good.
So I think that's something she would take on. When I notified her that, I think it was Anthony was one of our teachers, was from New Jersey, she was going to reach out to him. So I think she still wants to be very involved in the group.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
All right. Well, I'll reach out to both of those ladies and see if they have any interest in doing
I was
this.
just recommending Peggy because she's been on the board, but nobody's asked her to do anything as yet. So I've got her on the long range planning committee, but as I haven't done anything about long range planning, kind of leaving her out there, unless we want to consider this long range planning, this mock trial stuff. So
It kind of goes hand in hand.
kind of goes there, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, that's second point. Third thing on the agenda was Barbara, to talk about promoting your toy awards and getting the name out there. What do you need to brainstorm a little bit?
Yeah, I just need some more ideas. I know when I took it over from Kitty, we had lots of emails and lots of information about students who were going to the We the People or doing the mock trials. And because of COVID, a lot of those contacts have gone virtual. A lot of them have disappeared. A lot of the teachers that I had email addresses for, I sent out notices to them probably about a month ago about the Teacher of the Year award. And about half of those emails came back as invalid. They're not with the school anymore. So, and a lot of the teachers some are still doing virtual. So I'm kind of at a dead end as to how we get the word out more and more to the schools and to the students to apply for this.
Well, one thing I've done, and I did it last month, and when we first started, when we had this thing set up, is to put it on the various Facebook page group pages. Like there's iCivics and there's We the People, or maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. I've got like 4 or 5 of them where I can reach out to their Facebook group and announce it. And we got some pretty good traction. And I can just keep putting it out there, and I can put it on their Facebook, not just on ours, but on their Facebook group, because we're members of theirs. And hopefully they can see it.
That would help. I know last year we got quite a few in. I think March 15th is our deadline, and we got most of them in after February 20th, right toward the deadline.
Yeah.
So I
And
may
that may be the
panicking
case.
for no
And that's
reason.
typical though. That's normal. They wait until the last minute, I guess, just to make sure they get their letter recommendation, and they don't like to do things too early.
Yeah.
Keeps us on
So I
pins and
just-
needles.
I
Yeah,
don't want to panic unnecessarily, but I don't want to end up with no applicants either.
right, yeah.
I found that contacting the principals in our own community has helped generate, the principals recommend a particular teacher. And I tried to get this one teacher to participate, but with the COVID, things didn't change.
Is there some sort of national registry of civic education teachers?
There's state by state. Each state has a civic education coordinator, I think social studies coordinator, something like that. And but you have to go, and I think years ago it was up to date. I've sent it to Barbara. but I think by now that may be kind of out of date, and that's
It
where she is.
yeah.
But you can go state by state and look up education and see who the social studies or coordinator is for that state, but that doesn't always mean they're going to respond.
No, but it's a
But
start.
but it's a start, yeah.
Barbara, why don't you see if Margaret wants to do something like that to help you out? She
right.
hasn't done anything, and I think so as your high school coordinator, that might be a nifty thing for her to do.
Okay, I will do that.
See if she
Problem is,
can.
you send your emails off to these state coordinators and you either go to their spam or they don't know what you want and you don't hear anything back. I mean, that's been my experience the last 2 years. I've sent hard copies. I had to print it off, the brochures printed off. I've sent emails and
State coordinators change too. That's the
They
other
do.
problem. And you
They
can
do.
send them to the wrong one and they don't get forwarded.
exactly, just like our like our auxiliary chairs change, and you don't get
Right.
that in time to put that in the roster.
Right.
Well, it's something might want to give her something to sink her teeth into, because I know she was looking to participate.
Great, I will do that.
Anne?
There's one thing, maybe the Center for Civil Education has started this newsletter which comes out twice a week. If you have seen this, Kitty?
No.
I just signed up for it. They sent me a couple of notices, and basically what they're doing is they're going through the country and seeing any articles on civic education or anything like that, and putting it in there for you to look at and stuff.
I saw that this morning. I have that in my newsletter.
Yeah.
I have
So
the one
I
on
filled
Rhode
my
Island.
thing in, yeah, right. I hadn't done it. I noticed it
What's
coming
it called?
last week, but I hadn't signed up for it, but I just signed up for it. But maybe that's something, if we can provide something that,
Absolutely.
will give us the information on it. I'll send you the email, Barbara, that they sent me,
Okay, that'd be
and then
great.
you can sign up,
Could
And
you
this
forward
is
that to
new.
me as well? I don't seem to have it.
In the newsletter?
Kitty, do
Oh,
you
in the
have it?
newsletter, is it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
the newsletter too. I mean, the e-blast, you're talking about e-blast,
the
right?
e-blast today, and it
Yes.
said civic education in the news, and I
I
lifted
did
it
see that.
right
Yeah.
out of the Center for Civic Education newsletter.
Oh, okay, okay.
We're also
Right.
gonna- we're also going to need judges for it as well. And I thought this year, because Deborah has generously donated money toward that award, I think I'd like to ask her to be a judge for the Lillian B. Jarvis Teacher of the Year Award.
Ooh, good idea.
I would assume that she has time to do that. And I think because of electronics, the fact that she lives in Rome shouldn't make any difference as to her ability to do that. So I will talk to her as we get a little bit closer to that.
Good
Cool.
suggestion.
All right. Anything else as far as getting the toy award info out there? Anybody have any other ideas?
Okay, all right.
I
guess-
liked your idea of having a toy award winner help with the scholarship selection. That was a wonderful idea.
That's something that if she goes for the scholarship, we'll have to put our thinking caps on and get the committee to reach out to some of these gals or gals, the people. Because early odds, they're probably swamped, but to have, who knows, they might have time. Now, speaking of that, this is a good segue to my last and final point, and it's an executive committee determination, but if you guys want to stick around, it's all fun. Is to see about having our past toy winners become honorary members. And this is something I talked about initially. And I think the time is right now to do it. And I don't know if y'all saw my e-blast or my email today where I did a mock-up certificate.
Beautiful.
Barbara, can you,
I liked
can you
it.
pop that up
Liked
there?
Can I what?
Can you pop that up for some reason or somehow?
Yeah, hold on just a second. Let me get.
Oh, there it is. It's really well done.
Well, thank you. And y'all, I had reached out to Linda Eagle a month or so ago about putting this together, and I didn't hear a word back. And maybe it was a couple of months ago. And we're friends on Facebook, and she posted something that was very disturbing, in that she had tried to commit suicide.
I saw that.
And I was like,
No.
holy cow. And that she was obviously going through a lot of emotional issues. So I didn't want to pester her about that, but I'd love to see her back in the fold and doing
She
things
also
differently.
posted a picture yesterday of her looking very happy with her husband. So
Yes, yes. So
I don't
maybe
know.
she's feeling better, but maybe we can get her, Lucy, you can get her back. Yes, I
Okay.
thought that'd be kind of fun. And,
Can y'all see this?
Yes, it
Yeah,
looks great.
beautiful.
Looks
okay.
wonderful.
Well, thank you, thank you. And I'm not sure exactly how to go about presenting it to them. I'm thinking maybe if we have our toy liaison, whoever that might be, reaches out to them, and if they give us some feedback on what they've been doing, then we can make them an honorary member, rather than just sending out a blanket of certificates to these past folks, because I don't know where they are, some of them, and some we do. I'm thinking going forward with the new ones that we present them with this at the same time they get their money.
Good idea. Yeah.
But as far as retroactively giving them, I think what we need to do is if we can reach out to them and get what they're doing and say, thank you so much, as you know, appreciation of your efforts and your winning this thing, we would like to make you this, and kind of do it piecemeal. So what do y'all think?
I
I
like it.
love it. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
Wonderful.
as part of the executive committee, all in favor of making toy winners honorary members, raise your hand. Anybody opposed? Lisa, I'm assuming you're raising your hand?
Yeah, I'm raising my hand, sorry.
All right, so there we go. Something fun to put in the next newsletter. All righty, I think unless somebody else has anything, I think we are done.
Well, thank you for all your hard work, Noelle.
Yeah.
What I will do is I will send out a draft of the letter I'm planning to send to Nancy, and let you guys take a look at it and make sure it's wordsmithed correctly to capture everything we've talked about, particularly as far as the timing of the endowments and if they're going to be ongoing. So I don't, so I say it correctly. So I'll probably get that out either today or tomorrow and let you guys take a look at it. So thank you all. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Go Astros. Is anybody watching the Astros
Yeah.
besides me?
No,
So,
we're there.
anyway, all right, guys. Y'all take care.
Thank
and
you. Bye-bye.
we'll touch
Thank
base
you,
soon.
Noelle.
All
Thank
right.
you all.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
And you'll let us know, Noelle,
Yes.
about her response.
Yes, I will send the draft out to letter to everybody and let y'all take a look. And so it sounds, make sure I've captured everything we've talked about.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
and thank you, Alice, for all your
everyone.
work.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.